Hi! Hey guys, this is Chris, the Lower Slower Board Gamer, and the Strat Bug has taken me, and I had about 10 or 11 games backlogged. I needed to do stats before I continued, so I figured I would do it, and we've come to all the games through April 24 so far, 1979. So I figured we'd just do a good old stats show, and we could go through all the teams, but we just want to see league leaders and standings and such. Well, let's look at the standings first. Why don't we do that? As of April 24th, the Philadelphia Phillies have a game and a half lead over the Cubs, 2 over the Expos. Phillies are 11-5, Cubs 8-5, Expos 8-6, Pittsburgh, the Pirates are 7-8, Cardinals are 7-10. Mets are 5.5 games back in the East at 4-9. The National League West is a little bit different. Reds off to a great start, 15-3. Dodgers 3 games back at 13-7. Houston 4.5 back at 10-7. And then the Giants, the Padres, and the Braves are 9, 9.5, and 10 games out in the early stages of the season thus far. And we're going to go ahead and we'll do that. We'll show you the game logs if you want to pause and check out your team, see how they're doing. Let's go ahead and bring these guys up. Boom. That pretty much has everything caught up right there. So those are all the games that have been played thus far. Let's go for batting stats. We're looking for who's doing what. Let's go for the run leaders. Dave Concepcion with 22 runs. Gary Matthews and Glenn Hubbard with the Braves, 16 and 15 runs each. Morgan Griffey and Dreesen. You've got 4 Reds in the top 7 with runs scored, and George Foster just out of the top 10 and tied with others for 11th. So the Reds are producing runs. 2 Padres are in there, Richards and Winfield, Davey Lopes of the Dodgers, Mike Ivy of San Francisco. But yeah, you can see the Reds are really producing. Base hits so far this season. Gary Matthews of Atlanta has 30. He's doing really well. You can see all the way over here that he is batting .417. But yeah, total base hits, 3 with 28, Dreesen, Richards, and Steve Garvey. Dave Winfield with 27, Griffey and Turner with 26, 25, George Foster, 24, Morgan, 23, Concepcion, 5 Reds at the top, in the top 11. I mean, you can see 6 in the top 13. Reds are pumping it. Doubles. We are going to see 11 doubles for Ken Griffey. Keith Hernandez and Bill Russell of the Dodgers have 9. Matthews and Dreesen and Richards tied with 7. And 5 others with 6, including Bill North and Warren Cromartie. Triples. We've had a decently amount of triples. Templeton. Gary Templeton has 4. Gene Tennis has 3. Bake McBride, Craig Reynolds, Bill Buckner 3 as well, and quite a few with 2. Here's the one everybody's looking for, homers. Who's doing it? Dave Kingman and Mike Ivy, 7 each, with a week to go in April. Dale Murphy with 6, Bunch with 5, Simmons, Ted Simmons, Mike Schmidt, Larry Parrish, Andre Dawson, Jeff Burrows. And then the hits just keep on coming. And along with those RBI, you can see Dreesen is leading the league with 27 thus far. Dave Winfield with 19. Joe Morgan with 15. Getting a lot of opportunities with runners on base with their hits. Ivy, Murphy, Simmons, Schmidt with 14. A few with 13. Your total base leaders, and that's going to indicate a good slugging and OPS as well. 49 total bases for Dreesen and Matthews, 46 for Winfield and Foster, 45 for Richards and Garvey. You're going to see a lot of lather, rinse, repeat with the names at the top this early in the season. Who's got the most strikeouts? That would be Ron Say, 17. Foster, Tennis, and Cesar Geronimo with 16. Greg Lazinski, Jack Clark, and Alan Ashby with 14 each. Who's drawn the most walks so far in the replay? The young replay. 3 Dodgers are up there. Ron Say with 16, Davey Lopes with 15, Dusty Baker with 12, along with George Foster. A few at 11, Mike Schmidt, Dave Concepcion, Terry Whitfield, and Joe Morgan. 10 for Bill North. Not many hit by pitch. I don't think any, not yet. So we're just playing basic. Sacrifice hits, bunts, moving them along. A lot of pitchers up here. And let's see. I'm going to have to double check Jeff Burrows. He might be sacrifice flies, not sacrifice hits. I might have to go back and double check that. I love when I see stuff like this. Like I saw, who was it? Someone had like 60 at bats and only scored 1 run. I was like, you got to be kidding me. I had to have missed something. No, only 1 run. So that's a possibility. Sacrifice hits, not flies. Speaking of sacrifice fly balls that produced RBI, Cesar Cedeno with 4, Dave Winfield with 3, Few with 2. Stolen bases, who's zipping on the base paths in 1979? Davey Lopes with 11 so far, caught 3 times. Bill North and Rodney Scott with 7 each. Omar Moreno and Terry Poole with 6, 5 each for Gene Richards, Gary Templeton, and 4 for Ozzie Smith. Who is committing the Boffos? 5 errors each for shortstops. They're near the top, and that kind of figures. They're going to get more touches. Templeton and Frias, 5 each. Pepe Frias, Bill Russell, and Larry Boa with 4. No, Boa has 3. And he's leading a slew at 3. Passed balls. I know Dale Murphy's got a couple of them. Yep. And Gene Tennis, Alan Ashby, Ted Simmons, and John Stearns, Gary Carter. Your batting average leaders. And we get past all the pitchers that don't have anything. We want to get down to the guys that actually have some at-bats. So give me just a moment. Your first ones are going to be right there. Gary Matthews batting .417. Right fielder for the Braves. Next with significant at-bats is going to be Booney. Bob Boone batting .396. Joe Morgan batting .375. Gene Tennis and Dave Winfield both batting .370. Dan Dreesen .368. Tony Perez .367. Jerry Turner .366. Larry Parrish .360. And George Foster at .352. So those are your guys above .350. On base percentage, going to have to go down and find the same thing. Well, starts about the right place. Make sure there isn't anyone way up there. There isn't. So yeah, it looks like Gary Matthews again, .468 on base. 467 Joe Morgan. Gene Tennis .460 along with Mike Schmidt. We've got .446 for George Foster. Davey Lopes .427. Tony Perez .426. Your slugging guys should be just about. Is there anyone way up? No. So we're starting at about Dave Kingman, 800 slugging. Mike Ivy, 740. Yeah, I'll do this. Mike Ivy, 745. Yeah, we'll keep this. I want that. Stop it. 745. Larry Parrish, 740. Mike Schmidt, 731. Gary Matthews, 681. Gene Tennis, 648, along with George Foster. Dan Dreesen, 645. Dave Winfield, 630, along with Gary Carter. Willie Stargell, 605. Your on base plus. Make sure there's no one sneaking in up here. No, looks like Kingman is 1200. Schmidt 1191. Mike Ivy 1152. Matthews 1149. 1125 for Larry Parrish. Gene Tennis at 1108. George Foster 1094. Dan Dreesen 1052. Dave Winfield 1048. Those are your guys with decent at bats. Let's go ahead and just put all this stuff back where I had it, so that way I don't confuse myself. Now we want to go A to Z and A to Z. There, we got everybody back where I want them. Let's look at the pitchers. Let's look at the pitchers. We're going to have total games appeared in. Two Braves, Greg Scott and Gene Garber at 9 and 8 respectively, along with Dick Tidrow, Ed Whitson. So some of the relievers are showing, all relievers with the game appearances. Games started. So far we have a few pitchers starting 5. Phil Niekro, Buddy Solomon, Tom Hume, Joaquin Andujar, Randy Johnson, Eric Rasmussen, Veda Blue, and John Denny. Innings pitched. Wait a minute. Game started. Did I say Phil Niekro? Yeah, right there. Okay. That's weird. I thought I saw him at the top all of a sudden. All right. Innings pitched. Tom Hume, 3 complete games, as you can see right there. 41 and a third. Eric Rasmussen, 38 and a third. Randy Jones, 38. All these guys have 5 starts. Veda Blue, 36. But you've got J.R. Richards, 4 starts, 36 innings, 3 complete games. He's 3 and 1. Richards is really rocking it early here in the season. Win leader is going to be Tom Hume and Eric Rasmussen with 4. Richard is 3, along with Sutcliffe, Ruthven, Joe Niekro, Bruce Keeson, Michael Koss, Larry Christensen, and Laren LeGros. Reliever. A couple of relievers in there with 3 wins. Games going late. Your high loss taggers. John Denny of the Cardinals, Buddy Solomon of the Braves, and Bob Nepper of the Giants, 4 each, and then a few with 3. Let's see who our save leaders are. 4 saves for Kent Tekulve for Teak. Raleigh Fingers, Will McKenney, and Mark Littell have 3 each, and then a slew with 2. As you can see listed here. Complete game leaders. J.R. Richard, Tom Terrific, and Tom Hume have 3 each. A few with 2. Don Sutton, Randy Jones, Eric Rasmussen, Bert Hooton, Jerry Royce, and Rick Russell. Now, this is going to be greater than in real life. It's 20 card teams. There's only 8 pitchers. Some of them are going to be made to go long whether they're winning or not, because I have to do it that way. And we've had some shutouts. Tom Seaver with a shutout. Bert Hooton with a shutout. Jerry Royce, Rick Russell, and just in the very last game I just played tonight, which I played in only 13 minutes and 50 seconds, Dick Ruthven shut out the Dodgers 4-0 with a Del Unser and a Mike Schmidt homer leading the way for that team. Giving up the most hits. John Denny with 49. So he's got a whip of, giving up hits, whatever. Let's get by this. Runs and earned, you still want to see it. John Denny, 49. Phil Niekro, 46. Tom Hume, 43. Don Robinson, 41. Bert Hooton, 39, along with Randy Jones, Buddy Solomon, and Craig Swan. Total runs given up. Phil Niekro with 34. 27 for John Denny. Robinson with 24. Craig Swan, 23. John DeQuisto, relief pitcher for the Padres, has given up 22. 20 for Randy Jones and Steve Carlton. earned runs surrendered. We have 27 for Phil Niekro, 26 for Denny, 22 for Robinson, 21 for Craig Swan, 19s for three Padres, DeKisto Jones and Gaylord Perry, 18 for Steve Carlton. Most homers given. Phil Niekro, 10. 7 for Carlton, 5 each for Bob Nepper, Pete Vukovich of the Cardinals, Don Sutton of the Dodgers, Ross Grimley of the Expos, Bob Force of the Cardinals, and Bob Welch of the Dodgers. Guys, ready for the strikeout leader? I think you know who it's going to be. 1979, J.R. Richard has 40. Phil Niekro has 30. Veda Blue, 28. Buddy Solomon, 26. 24 for Jerry Royce. 23 each for Craig Swan, Tom Hume, Rick Russell. Lynn McLaughlin with 22. And 20 apiece for Bob Ochenko of the Padres and Bert Hooton. Most walks issued. This isn't too crazy, but Bob Welsh with 22. John Denny with 20. 16 for Phil Niekro. Only 16, and also same amount for Veda Blue and Eric Rasmussen. Gaylord Perry with 15. Mickey Mailer of the Braves with 14. 13 for Joe Niekro. 12 for Richard. 11 each for Sutton and Carlton. Wild pitches. There haven't been a lot of wild pitches yet. Just Welch, Vukovich, Mike Lacoste of the Reds, Mike Krukow of the Cubs, and Ken Forsch of the Astros. Balks, I don't think we've had any balks yet. No. Hit by pitch, no. Okay, so your ERA leaders. We're going to have to do this the other way. A to Z, and we're going to have to go down and we're going to have to find some innings. We're going to say... your inning leaders are in the 30s or 40s. We'll go, Craig Scott is 056. Well, I mean, you can just see who they are. Let's do this. Let's go A to Z. Let's go relievers. And game appearances. And they're all going to have some. Doug Bear is low on that, but you've got your ERA leaders over here. Notable names are going to be, with 16 innings of relief, Craig Scott of Atlanta, 0.56. Greg Lavelle of the Giants, 0.77. Mark Littell of the Cardinals, 0.90. And Greg Minton, 0.97 of the Giants. Larry Christensen with 5 game appearances, 1 start. He's 3-0 with a save, a complete game. He's got a 115 going. 2 Cubs. Dennis Lamp, 159. Dick Tidrow in relief, 220. Kevin Coble of the Mets and Laren LeGros of the Dodgers, 225 each. You get into your starters. Gotta go down a ways. Let's see if we can find some starter type. Scott Sanderson of the Expos. He is... Oh, okay, yeah, we got our starters separated. Kind of did that, didn't I? Bruce Keeson, 0.78. Let's see if we can't get that at the top of this section. There we go. Bruce Keeson leading starters was 0.78. Scott Sanderson, 124. Rick Russell, 130. Tom Seaver and John Fulham, 164 each. Fulham for the Cardinals. Rick Sutcliffe with Bill Bonham of the Reds, 169 each. 170 for Dick Ruthven. Candyman, 183. Then you get into the twos. Joe Niekro, 225. McLaughlin, 245. Welsh, 246. 250 for J.R. Richard. And you've got 4 more until you get up to 3. So we're doing pretty good there. Let's see what we've got for walks and hits per inning pitch. What do we got for whip leaders? Now we want to go the other way. We want to do it that way. I keep forgetting. And we'll check it out, relievers and starters as well. Relievers, you're going to have 023 whip for Randy Neiman. Only 4 innings pitched, though. Craig Scott, 063. Mark Littell, 070. 092 for Rudy May of the Expos. If you go down to your starters, which are down hairs, your whip, Candyman, 0.56 whip, walks and hits per innings pitched. Nino Espinosa of the Phillies, 067. 074 for Bruce Keeson, 088 for Dick Ruthven. John Fulham of the Cardinals, 091. 092 for Rick Russell, 095 for Lynn McLaughlin. Joe Niekro at an even 1. 106 for Scott Sanderson and Tom Severson. 109 each for Don Sutton and Steve Rogers of the Expos. And strikeouts per walk. And we'll just show all of these, I think. John Fulham, Cardinals, 14 strikeouts per walk. You can see right there, 14-1. I think 13-1, Craig Scott. 11-1, Nino Espinosa. 10-1, Gene Garber and John Candelaria. 575 for Tom Human, Craig Swan. 567 for Jim Bibby, Pirates. Raleigh Eastwick of the Phillies is tied with Doug Bear of the Reds and Elias Sosa of the Expos at 5 strikeouts per walk. 4.5 for Mark Littell. 4 each for Randy Neiman, Laren LeGros, Bruce Sutter of the Cubs, and Bert Hooton. So that would be all of your stats so far in this 1979 NL replay. So I thought I would share that with you guys. I've been posting each game online as I play it as a community post, the pictures and a little write-up on it. And I'm going to have some more games live, but I wanted to give this to you once I got it all squared away so that way you guys could check it out. I've got another 6 games left in April. Then I'm going to staple all the score sheets into the manila folder that it's in, set it aside, take a break for a week or two, and do whatever the heck I want and come back to it, you know. But I hope you enjoyed this. And if you've lasted this long, you're a stat head like me. So go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Click the little dinger bell thingy so that way when you know whenever content is uploaded. Comments, questions, concerns down in the doobly-doo. Timestamp if it's something specific, so that way I can look at it and answer more quickly. But guys, thanks for watching. And again, this is Chris, the Lower Slower Board Gamer. You know what to do.